Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. This is It's Your Healthy Lifestyle show, hosted by the founder of this platform, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and myself, Roland Friedl. How important is your health and fitness to you? We show you how you can easily eat healthier every day, how you can improve your fitness and recover much quicker after your exercises and workouts. Families will learn how to optimize their children's health and nutrition. And finally, you will also hear how you live a long, healthy, and fit life into your old age. Join us here on It's Your Healthy Lifestyle.
Well, hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. Hi, I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and with me is
Roland Friedl. Hello, everyone, and hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Great to be back.
Hello, so good to see you here on It's Your Healthy Lifestyle show. Roland, how have you been? It's been a couple of weeks, I think, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. I was very, very busy preparing my heading south. You know, I always spend the winters in south of Europe because it's too warm. Too cold in the north. Actually, we had an amazing autumn in Austria, to be honest. It was an amazing autumn. But now it's, I was leaving the right time because 3 days after I left it, friends of mine told me that this was heavy snowing there. So it was the last point really to leave. Actually, I wanted to leave 2 months earlier, but, you know, my dog had an accident. So I had to go to the vets 2 months every week and a lot of stuff there. But now I'm in the south, but I'm not on my final destination right now.
Well, we're glad to have you with us when you have the opportunity. How is Aloha doing?
Oh, she's fine. She gets used to it. That she only has one eye because, you know, we had to pull out the whole eye and close it. She lost it because of an accident. She's fine. I mean, she's okay. She gets used to it. Yeah.
Well, we're glad that she's doing okay and recovering. So we're on to our show today. And, you know, you just mentioned something that literally sent chills up my spine, and that's the cold weather, especially getting out in the cold. When I was younger, I remember I used to put on these gloves and the hat and the scarf and go out at 5 a.m. And yeah, forget that. I'm not doing that anymore. But we're going to talk about getting out into nature and enjoying the benefits, whether that's working out or not. So I know that you're living in your motorhome. You're somewhere in Italy right now. And I would think more or less you pretty much are outside at some point every day. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be honest, it's not so warm that I expected. It could be warmer here in Italy too, but that's why I love this lifestyle, traveling around in my motorhome. Actually, most of the time when it's not heavy raining, I'm always outside. Even when it's heavy raining, I have to walk my dog, of course, but shorter. But the rest of the days when the weather's fine, I'm always outside. I do excursions, I do hiking, I make my workout outside, I do some running or whatever, or sightseeing. I sit outside, I read outside, I work outside. I just love to reconnect with nature, to breathe the fresh air. And yeah, I just love it. It makes me feel good and makes me feel healthy and keep me fit and young.
And you've sent in a couple of pictures, which we're going to take a look at in a moment. So I found myself that when I am outside, which isn't as much as it used to be, because I was walking outside and then I had to make a decision. Am I going to go to spin class and yoga and solid core? What am I going to do? So I've pretty much given up the walking outside only because of the number of calories that it burns and the sweating. But I've had a number of amazing ideas come to me, and I've been able to clear my head when I am outside walking. So when you're out in nature, are you doing it for exercise purposes or because you feel like you want to be one and commune with nature? What are your reasons?
Man, there are many different reasons. One of the first reason is I just love to be outside. But, I've been raised in a city. I spent my first 25 years in large, Austria, small countries, small cities, large cities. But I never liked it. And I always prefer to be outside in nature, even when I was a kid playing with my friends in the woods. Then I guess I was 6 years old. Yeah, 5.5 or 6 years old. I saw the first time the sea, so I could travel with my neighbor and see the sea. Actually was in Italy. And I was totally flashed by the sea. So I love the nature to be, first of all, being in nature, living in nature. That's one thing. Second is I used to go, when I have been living in cities, I used to go to the gym, of course, for my workout. I still love to go to gyms. I occasionally do it when I stop over in a larger city. But I learned to do my exercise outside, to really work with my own body weight and being outside and breathing fresh air, fresh air from a forest or like here or from the Mediterranean Sea. It's totally different than the air conditioner in a gym. It's totally different. It's totally different. I feel much better afterwards. Much better, much more refreshed, more powerful, and I'm more motivated even outside than in the gym. I don't know why.
I can appreciate that. That makes a lot of sense. I was just thinking, I was at a spin class yesterday and there's a lot of dancing. Have you been to a spin class?
I loved it. When I've been living in Spain, I loved it because they made it with so much fun and amazing music. And they really was the trainers, all of them, very encouraging and motivating, actually very loud. Spanish people love to talk a lot. They talk a lot. It was very loud. But once I get used to it, I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. I loved it. I loved the motivation. I loved the sweating. Absolutely, yes. But the point is, I remember once I made a break. I had to go for a pee on the toilet. And I came back to the spinning class, and then I realized, oh my gosh, the air is not good here. From 50 people spinning like crazy. So I love it more than nature, but I love spinning classes. Absolutely, yeah, I love them.
Well, you know what's fun about them, and this particular class, there's a lot of choreography, so you have to keep pedaling certain RPMs, and then you're up and down and back and forth.
Yeah.
But I remember there have been times in my life when I was traveling and I was able to do a spin class or a boxing class or other kind of class. It was outside, like in Hawaii, at this beautiful resort, and you're overlooking the beach. To me, that is kind of the best. But I do love that competition, especially against, and it's not that it's this, okay, you have to ride faster, do this or that when you're competing with someone else, but it is, you're in this community and you want to keep up with the instructor. And I do love that, especially when people are 30, 40 years younger than I am.
Yeah.
But the quality itself, you're right. So when you get back into nature and you can breathe that fresh air, it's just so wonderful. So I want to bring up one of the photographs that you shared with me today. I think this is great. Tell us what we're looking at here.
Well, actually, that's the place where I'm staying right now. It's a photograph I made today. We are here on a beautiful beach in South Italy, and you can see the beach in the behind. Or what you don't can see, it's the motorhome just on the other side of the picture. I use my TRX. Actually, it's a Navy SEAL edition, and it's mounted on the tree over there. So I love to work with my own body weight to do different exercises there, and weights and some rubber bands. That's what I'm doing with my workout. Actually, this was today, and I use it regularly, except when it's heavy raining. Then I don't work out. I just walk my dog, to be honest. Or when I stop over in a city, I go for a day ticket for a gym, or I go to a public pool for some indoor swimming or something like that. But that's my regular setting on a daily basis. For to be honest, not so long, because I don't do I don't do absolutely no socializing with just by myself. So I start heavy sweating after, I don't know, 35, 40 minutes, something like that, and then I go for a
Absolutely.
shower. Yeah.
So, Roland, the question I have, because I have a TRX also, how'd you get it all the way up there on that tree? How high up is that?
Oh, it's my height. I'm 6 feet high. As I'm 1 meter 82 centimeters. So when you go with the arms, it's almost 2 meters.
Okay.
I
So
guess,
you just
I guess it looks higher than it is.
yeah, it looks like it's like 20 feet up or something.
No,
So-
no, 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 no.
And can you share with our audience, for people who are not familiar with the TRX, and obviously you're not a paid spokesperson, but what does the TRX enable you to do with your body weight?
Okay, so actually, I got. I guess I saw it first. The yellow edition, the normal edition. I saw it in a gym, and I joined a TRX class in the gym, and I found out, hey, it's fun to work with the TRX. So I bought this version because it's a little bit more robust, especially when you use it outside, even with bad weather. But this is I guess, a much more expensive version, but it's more robust. It's the Navy SEAL edition, and actually you can train every part of your body, every muscle. You can work your abdominal, your upper body, your arms, your legs. I have a booklet like this with a lot of videos, so you can do a hell of workout. But the Navy SEALs use them when they are on a training camp, or when they in a foreign country in their breaks. They work with that. I can mount it on a tree, what I normally do. Sometimes when I have it longer before my traveling in a motor. When I used to traveling with my business clients, I could also mount it indoor in a hotel room and work indoor in the hotel room if there was no gym available. Yeah, I always have it with me. Maybe you see this small brown backpack on the floor. So I always have this backpack with me. There's my TRX inside and also some rubber bands. And when I walk my dog, I always have it with me. And after 10, 15 minutes, I find a spot where I can mount it. I do some exercise, then we continue our walking or running. Another 10, 15 minutes, I found another sport. I mount it again, do some other exercises, and that's my daily routine.
It really is amazing, because the TRX itself, whether it's the home version or the Navy SEAL version, it enables you to get a similar workout as with a personal trainer.
Absolutely. But to be honest, I had a personal trainer in the beginning, in the gym, to get used to it. And then I found out, oh, man, you can do such a lot of stuff. And I'm very happy with the Navy SEALs version. There's a huge booklet, and there's an app also for your smartphone with all the exercises with videos. So you can do a hell of exercise. You can also do stretching, everything, if you want, with this. The only thing is, you need a high level of self-motivation, to be honest, because there's nobody around for you. It's up to you to be self. And that, to be honest, it was my struggling in the beginning. Be self-motivated. Not giving up too early. In the gym, when somebody's watching you, you try to go even harder. Especially the men. I don't know about the women. But when you're by your own, without any audience, you have to be very a lot of self-discipline, a high level of self-discipline, and really working out until you sweat. And not, to be honest, sometimes I said, oh, it's okay for the day, I go inside, it's warm or something like that. To be honest, I have my days too, to be honest.
Of course, yeah, that's just being human. And you sent in another picture, which is absolutely beautiful. So tell us, what is the temperature right now where you are in Celsius, Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit, give me a second. It's not so warm, to be honest. I'm a little bit disappointed about the temperatures here. Oh, it's not working. Okay, no, not working. Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed about that. It's 16 degrees Celsius. So give me a second. What it is in 16 Celsius?
Is it plus 32? I don't know.
Celsius to Fahrenheit, it says 60.8 Fahrenheit.
60.
60.8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not that warm. I mean, it's not cold, but it's not warm.
Yeah. In the shadow, in the sun, it's warmer. Actually, on the picture before, you saw in the background a little bit of the beach. So that's the beach downstairs where I park my motorhome, and it's quite a longer beach. And yeah, I go there 4 times a day with my dog. We do some jogging. We do some how you call it? I jog slow, and then I go for a few seconds very, very fast, slow
Sprint.
again, very, very fast. Yeah. So that's what I love. Really to change the tempo, the speed. And my
Yeah,
my
that's
dog,
good.
she loves it too. She loves it too.
Now, are they shells? What do we see there on the beach?
Yeah, they are small stones and a lot of shells.
Okay, so where you are right now, is this sort of a resort area, or it's just really for RVs to spend time?
Actually, for RV, from my size, it was a little bit challenging to go there. The smaller RV, it's easier. Uh, well, it's a small beach, very hidden one. I found it by chance, and there is a camping site which is actually closed. A small camping site, a very simple camping site. And yesterday I arrived here and I said, "Oh mate, it's an amazing place." So I tried to go there slowly, slowly, slowly. It was a bumpy road and stuff like that, a narrow, stumpy road, but I made it. And then a lot of signs that said no camping, no camping. I said, "Oh man, it's out of season, so who cares?" And I know when the sun went down, it went dark. Somebody was knocking on my door. It's forbidden here to park. And I said, "Hey, man, it's out of season. I'm not disturbing anyone." Yeah. And then I found out he's the owner, actually a young guy, Nicky, a nice guy, by the way. Hey, Nicky, if you join us. He's a young Italian guy. And actually, he's the owner of the small camping site. I said, "Okay, I understand you, man. I go to your camping site is closed because he closes at end of October." And I said, "Okay, you want to make some money. I understand you. I moved to your camping site. So I don't know, 50 meters or something like that." And I gave him a little bit money. So I'm here totally by myself. I'm the only person on this small camping site, but I have electricity, I have water, and I have a hot shower. So yeah, it's nice. It's okay. He's happy to make some money, and I have a nice place just for myself. But it's a very small bay. I guess it's half a mile long or something like that. It's a small bay and nobody there, just nobody there. Nobody.
Now, when you're traveling so much, and I was trying to remember, it was March. Was it March this year or last year?
Last year I was traveling from July to March through France, Spain, and Portugal. Yes,
But when did you leave? Did you leave March of 2022 or this year?
I left in April 1st in 2020. No, not 2020. 2 years ago in 21.
So
No,
that's when you
24.
left Mallorca, 2020. I can't remember.
No, I left Mallorca. And the last day of March, the 31st March in 2021. So it was 1.5 years ago, a little bit more than 1.5 years ago. Yeah, that I
Okay.
moved full time in motorhome. Yeah.
It's a long time. So my question for you is, when you think about nature, you are very isolated. And even though there are animals there, this guy, Nick, that you had just a short conversation with, does it get lonely?
Oh, Dr. Jacalyn, this year I'm struggling a little bit, to be honest. Last year it was okay for me because I just went out of a very toxic relationship. So I guess I told you last year, I was a little bit scared about being by myself the first time because I was always in a relationship and then traveling by myself. But I absolutely enjoyed it. This year it's a little bit different. I met some girls the last months when I was in Austria, and yeah, to be honest, I was very happy when I was back on the road. I was very happy because I was far too long in the north, as I said, because of my dog's accident. I was very happy to be on the road again. I absolutely enjoyed it. But this time, to be honest, first time I missed a partner on my side a little bit. Yes, absolutely. Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes. But not for any price.
It's very true. Very true. Well, I think the good news is if something doesn't work out and you don't want to see someone, you just get in the vehicle and drive. You're gone. That's it.
Yeah.
So,
But when I'm traveling my motorhome, I prefer more the loneliness in nature than large cities, to be honest.
yeah, I can understand that. Now, what happens when you get close to a city? And I'm not saying this is all cities, but even when you walk into a spin room, sometimes there's pollution, there's air pollution, there's noise pollution, as opposed to where you are now. Would you say the air quality is pretty good there?
Here in nature, it's just perfect. But since I spent the last year, especially when I'm living on Mallorca, I was on the countryside too. I got very sensitive to pollution when I go to a city or something. I smell, the cars and the industry. I got very, even when somebody's smoking on the street, I got very sensitive to it. Yeah, absolutely. So that's why I try to avoid cities. But sometimes I will go to one city, to Bari, because I went there. I don't know, a few years ago with my ex-wife, when we have been on a cruise. When you're on a cruise, the stop always very short. So I want to go longer to Bari, to see the village, or the village, the city. I will go. So also when I go to Sicily, of course, I will spend Christmas in Palermo, in the capital. I will do so, but the rest of the time, in nature, recovering, reconnecting in nature.
It's absolutely beautiful. So, Roland, in past episodes, you talked a little bit about archery, and you've also talked about how you've been able to get your own food. What are you doing now when you are not somewhere you've been familiar with in terms of gathering, hunting food?
Okay. So the first week there was I got, I'm on the way down south. I spent a night in South Austria. I met some very, very good friends, a nice couple, Andrea and Rudy. When you listen to this, hello. I met this couple. I always say an older couple, but actually she's younger than me. A retired couple. I met them in Spain last year, and they always spend the winter in Spain. But this year they can't go because she has to do some surgery and stuff like that. So they stay at home. So I made a longer distance, and I visited them because she's an amazing cook. Actually, she was cooking for one of our presidents, and she's an amazing cook. And she always cooks a 5, 6. How you call it? Six different meals. Different starters and stuff like that. And amazing. And this little poor Roland, she gave me a lot of food with me. So my fridge is full with food for 1 week. Actually, it's food that I normally don't eat, but it's okay. It's a friend of mine. So I have a lot of food with me. And of course, I brought a lot of meat with me. I guess I brought 40 or 45 steaks with me, large steaks, from a friend of mine who is growing them on his farm, organic. He's slaughtering on his farm, so they have no stress and stuff like that. I brought, because I have a huge freezer in the garage of my motorhome, so it's no issue. It's no issue for hunting. But I guess in Sicily, when there's no meat left, I go for hunting rabbits and some larger birds. I don't know how to call them in English, but yeah, I will archery some rabbits, stuff like that.
Now, this might seem like a crazy question, but you and I have been talking about the salmon population, and I shared with you there's all kinds of press about lice being in salmon. How do you know when you're capturing something whether or not it's safe to eat?
Well, I mean, when it's not a sick animal, and you see how it moves. When you hunt in nature, it's not that you go out and you shoot and you get the food. You spend hours. You spend sometimes hours until you really focus on the animal and you watch the animal and you try to get closer and closer, because when you work with your bow, you have to go closer than when you have a rifle or something like that. So you watch the animal and you see if it's healthy or not. That's one point. You see if it's healthy or not. I will never hunt for a sick one. It's easier to hunt them, but I don't know if the meat is good, and I don't know if it's toxic or not. So I go for younger animals, and it's fresh. It's fresh, clean food. No problem on that.
Excellent. Sounds like you really know what you're doing. And you had mentioned earlier in the show about water fasting. And I'm wondering, I know you haven't started that, you've done it many times in the past, but when you're traveling, when you're driving, when you have to go a long distance, do you have a clearer mind when you're fasting or when you're actually consuming?
Well, to be honest, normally when I do water fasting, it's not an issue that I have still a good mind. I'm focused and concentrated. This time it was different. I was thinking about, because I told you when I go to Italy, I do then the water fasting before I continue. But two things. Actually, it was much colder when I entered Italy than I thought it, so I was freezing. When I first day I didn't eat, I was just freezing. It was too cold for me, so I knew I need energy. And the second thing is, sorry Italians, you're an amazing, beautiful guys. You have an amazing cuisine. I love your food. I love everything. But driving is horrifying. That drive it's crazy. You've been so focused on the road because with these tiny small cars, they're coming from left, from right, from the opposite. I don't know. I think they don't care about any traffic rules. I don't know. So I decided when I'm down in Sicily and I find a spot where I will stay at least 10 or 2 days or 2 weeks, I will do my water fasting because it's warmer there and I have no stress on driving. Because to be honest, I'm not a stressed person, but driving in Italy is really stressful. Absolutely. This guys and also these girls, I see many girls driving too, and they're small Fiat, they're coming from everywhere. And you have one line and there are 2 or 3 cars, you have 2 lines, there are 3, 4 cars. It's just
now,
it's
Roland,
crazy.
something that you brought up that made me laugh because I never asked you this, but when I've interviewed you when you're in your motorhome, I think your steering wheel is on the left side. Is that correct?
Yes, like the
And then
Americans.
in Italy, are there steering wheels on the right side?
No. It's only in the UK and in Ireland and in India and in Australia. No, whole Europe is driving on the right side. On the left side, which we call the right side. It's the correct side. It's only the British people and the Irish people. They have this the wheel on the steering wheel on the other side. No, we have it on the left side. The Italians too.
Okay, so if the steering wheel's on the left side of your vehicle, are you driving in the right side lane or the left side lane?
On the right side.
Okay, so it's the same as it is in the US.
Yeah, it's the same in the US. I guess it's just England, Ireland, I guess New Zealand, Australia, and India, maybe Pakistan. I'm not quite sure. Who drive on the wrong side?
Since I was in Europe. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. So now let's talk a little bit about the water fast, because when you think about being out in nature, it's not a lot of fun if you have to go to the bathroom. But what about when you're driving and you're on a water fast? I mean, you have to go, right?
Yeah, because normally it's not an issue for me. Absolutely, I used to fast, but here in Italy it's different. As I said, it's a bit stressful to drive here. So, especially the water fasting, the first 3 days are not really fun. When you start detoxing, you get a headache, you get a kind of flu, you don't feel really good. So it's not a good idea to drive, especially in Italy. When you go on a highway, it's easy, it's just straightforward, nothing can happen. But here in Italy, it's bumpy roads, small roads, and I said crazy people driving here. So I decided, and it's a little bit colder here. So I decided when I'm go to on the south point, I stay there and then I do my water fasting. It doesn't make sense now. It doesn't make sense. And the point is, the thing is, I don't have to prove anything to anyone. So I decided, no, I don't do it now. I would love to, but it doesn't make sense. It's too dangerous. So I find a nice warm place, and then when I be by myself, and then I do my water fasting. Because to be honest, the first 3 days I'm like a diva. I don't like myself. I don't like anybody else. I'm kind of suffering, as I said, with a kind of flu or headache. So yeah, I don't want to drive and getting aggressive or something like that. No.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. I shared with you before the show that I did a water fast last weekend. I think Saturday through Monday, it ended up being 40.5 hours. And I felt pretty good. I was very mentally clear. And as I mentioned, also, I didn't lose any weight. I'm doing intermittent fasting every day. I stop eating typically by 2:00. But yeah, no weight loss whatsoever. And I've ramped up the exercise. I don't drink alcohol. So I don't know what it is, but I guess we just keep doing what we're doing because we like to challenge ourselves. What do you think?
Yeah, and it's challenging myself, but it's just minimizing the risk of getting sick. The interest. I wrote a book today in the afternoon, and it was about healing yourself. And it says it was interesting that Western people, like in Europe and in America, they get different kind of illnesses, like people who live more in community, like in India. In India, there's not an individual; it's the collective, the community. So these people have a lot of infection, virus, stuff like that. Here in Europe and in America, we are more individuals. We get more individual sickness like heart attacks, stress, obesity, I don't know, stuff like that. And I think we can minimize risk. It's not 100% that you live forever very healthy, but it's about minimizing your risk to get sick. That's why I'm doing it. And that's the first reason why I eat healthy and clean, why I do work out, why I spend a lot of time in nature to breathe fresh air, reconnect with nature. And it's fun too. I love what I'm doing. For me, it's not I wouldn't say it's an ascetic lifestyle. Not at all. It's not about that you're not allowed to do this and do that. I just love it. I just love it. I love what I'm doing. And I have my cheat days. Of course, I go for an ice cream. I go for a glass of wine, or I had a gin tonic last week and I enjoyed it. Why not? Yes, but it's not on a daily basis like most people do in the Western world.
Right. Absolutely. Well, we've been talking about getting out into nature and enjoying the benefits, and we're going to close out the show. We've got another one to start, the Mallorca connection. And Roland, what would you like to leave our audience with for today's It's Your Healthy Lifestyle show?
Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're living, if you're in the countryside or not, we live in a large city. When you work there, try to get out as often as possible to a park, or get out of the city on the weekends with yourself, with friends, with your family. Get out of the city as often as you can and really breathe fresh air in the forest, in the mountains, on the seaside, on the lake, whatever you do. It's very, very beneficial. So get out as often as you can. And I know that especially kids love to be in nature, play in nature, get them away from their online games, their smartphones. Bring them out to nature. I remember when I was a kid, it was hard for my parents to get me in. Now it's harder for the parents to get the kids out. So please go out in nature as often as you can, even when you live in a village. Go out and benefit from nature, and learn respecting nature, and teach your kids to do the same. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Roland. And for people who are watching, the best way to reach you is your website. What are the services and the value that you can provide to our audience?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my background is I'm an entrepreneur. I've always been an entrepreneur, and a little bit more than 25 years ago, 27, almost 28 years ago right now, I'll be in 2023, 28 years ago, I started a coaching training company in Switzerland. So we train and coach a lot of international big players in the world. We also do startups, so we have a lot of business context and business consulting, training, doing workshop, CEO coaching. That's one point. The other one is the men's work. I'm dedicated my life the last 3.5 years to men's work, because men need to work on themselves, improve themselves, to become a better version of themselves, to be in power again. You mean empower themselves, to empower themselves. I love to work for the environment, and I love the USA Global TV and Radio family, because we provide so much beneficial information for you. And yeah, thanks for sharing that. And if you want to contact me, the best way is to go on my website. It's my name, rolandfriedl.com, or just email me. It's office@rolandfriedl.com. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Roland. I appreciate you, and we'll see you shortly over and the other set for StreamYard.
Yes, I'm very looking forward to that. Thank you. Bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining.
Bye. Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for watching, for listening. We really do appreciate you. If you would like to join our team, please go over to usaglobaltv.com, and you will find there under Book Your Session, there are plenty of opportunities to be a guest on any of our shows. If you'd like to join our team and be a show host or a co-host, we'd love to have you do that as well. We're going to sign off now with a new TV ad that we have for our Lady Ella book series. Take a look. Meet Lady Ella, a special ladybug who was trained by Grand Beetle on how to listen at an elevated level. After earning her gold wings, Mother Earth and Father Universe asked her to travel across the solar system, teaching life lessons to creatures to respect one another and to listen. Learn more about her travels in the book series, The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella. Lady Ella would like to teach you and your family how to listen at an elevated level. If you're interested in learning life lessons, as well as how to communicate more effectively as a family, go to Amazon and order Lady Ella's books. They're all there, just waiting for you.